Lord Fowler, here we have a couple of files here from the Prime Minister's office which pertain to the AIDS crisis and how it was handled. We have here some handwritten comments by Margaret Thatcher reacting really to your proposal for an advertisement in all the Sunday papers warning about the need for precautions because of the AIDS crisis, and you can see her reaction there.
This is a note from her private secretary. It is the 5th of March 1986, because it's long before, really, the television commercials went on the air. The private secretary at number 10 has said, content on the basis for the DHS to go ahead with the advertisement. And Margaret, in her own very distinctive handwriting, says, I remain against, underlined, certain parts of this advertisement. I think the anxiety on the part of parents and many younger children who would never be in danger from AIDS exceeds the good it may do. That's now become a familiar thing, but it's quite interesting to see the feeling that has gone into it. I remain against certain parts of this advertisement. And this was a very moderate advertisement early on.
I think there were quite a few battles about the language to be used, how explicit that language was going to be. You know, looking through those files, you can see that there's quite a lot of back and forth about that. And, you know, just simply the phrase, you know, whether or not we can say anal sex, or, you know, should it be something else like rectal sex? You know, and I can see, you know, you are arguing your case throughout the files to really, if possible, use more straightforward language, you know, shorter terms, you know, more understandable terms. This seems to be what some of the battles were about.
It was a central concern of Margaret's that if we had advertisements of any kind, it would, in effect, encourage people to experiment, people who didn't know anything about it. And I think, you know, frankly, that was nonsense. It never did do that. You see, at that very early stage, Margaret is it's not entirely on board.
No. Well, of course, though, your campaign proceeded, and then you moved on to this. So this is the AIDS Don't Die of Ignorance leaflet that was delivered to every household in the United Kingdom. You know, again, of course, you did have a bit of a battle about this as well. There were some objections, but you managed to overcome them.
Yes, there were people who took very strong exception to it. You know, what are you doing, you know, sending a letter like this to me? But in the main, I would have said that 90% of the country actually thought there was a good idea, sensible precaution, and the rest. But we had battle at every stage with this.
This is a storyboard for the famous AIDS monolith television advert. Were there things that you decided to sort of leave out of the advert?
I think uniquely, this is the advertisement where we did actually leave out one part. And that part had nothing to do with HIV/AIDS. It was the original proposal that there was a hooter. It was the kind of hooter that you put on trains.
Like a siren? Or,
yes, like a siren. And its purpose was to actually wake up people who were slumbering slightly over their cup of tea to look at the advertisement that followed. I didn't think we needed that. So we went straight in to cutting the advertisement, which was, by any stretch of the imagination, a very strong message, but we left out the siren.
This encapsulates it actually very well. It reminds us of that incredibly powerful and chilling and effective TV advert. I think it's also pretty clear to me that you were trying to destigmatize this as an issue for gay people as well, gay and bisexual people. So you're, you know, in these messaging, it's quite apparent you're saying this can affect anyone, gay or straight. You know, it's not just an issue for gay men and drug users. You were kind of saying the whole population needs to be aware of this, heterosexual as well as homosexual, and so forth. Yeah.
As long as you didn't go over, you didn't tipple over and say this is a condition that can be transmitted like a cold, a common cold.
Yeah.
So it's how you express that.
Yes.
How you express that this is a challenge to everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
There is now a danger that has become a threat to us all. It is a deadly disease and there is no known cure. The virus can be passed during sexual intercourse with an infected person. Anyone can get it, man or woman. So far, it's been confined to small groups, but it's spreading. So protect yourself. And read this leaflet when it arrives. If you ignore AIDS, it could be the death of you. So don't die of ignorance.